Broadcasting from the center of the universe in Stony Creek, Ontario, Canada. This is the Renovating Life Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Kopac and Dan Carrol. And producer, Hnatyshyn. Follow along on their journey to become real estate entrepreneurs and interview guests that will inspire you to take action in your life. Brought to you by Battlefield Real Estate Investments. Invest in real estate. Invest with Battlefield Real Estate Investments.
Here we go, guys. Episode 1. I can't believe we're actually here.
It's a little crazy.
It is a little crazy, isn't it? My name is Dan Carrol. And with us to my left here, producer Hnatyshyn, a good friend of ours. Thank you so much for doing this for us, Greg. I appreciate it. And with me forever and always, a man amongst men himself, Steve Kopac. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing amazing. This is a good night.
Got a big smile on your face. Explain that smile to everyone.
Explain this smile. I don't know. I mean, we've worked hard to get to this point here, especially you. I mean, cheers to... Here, let's cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Cheers, guys. Cheers, mate. You know, this is...
We'll get Greg a microphone, don't worry.
We'll get Greg a microphone. We're working on this now. But Steve's been working hard. He's, I say a man amongst men. This is a guy that can literally do anything. So I really appreciate all the effort that you put into this. I'd like to thank Mike Dawson for doing our voiceover. I have goosebumps right now. If you recognize that voice from the Adam Carolla show, Mike did us a solid. So Dawson is our VO guy. This is fantastic.
Oh, that was awesome. I couldn't believe it when he sent it. Like when he sent the email and I listened to it.
Right.
And he did it smart too.
Yeah.
Like he put spaces where there were supposed to be spaces so I can cut him in and out of like wherever I got to put his voice
Real
in.
pro. So yeah, thanks to Dawson for that too. And thank you, the listeners, for anyone that's actually tuning into this. We really appreciate you taking the time. We know there's 1,000,001 podcasts out there, and we're going to take episode 1 to kind of explain what this is all about, really. I mean, we're using this as a way to connect with people locally.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna discuss our journey. So, Steve and I are budding real estate investors, and we've gotten a few reps under our belt, and we'll be going into details of all of our deals and some of our challenges and things like that. But the Renovating Life podcast is more than just about renovations and building a business, and you can follow us on our journey on that. But it's also about bringing on guests that have inspiring stories, local entrepreneurs that we can use this platform to help promote them, that might have an inspiring story that can help you. Maybe you had like a side hustle that you've been thinking about doing, or really, you're caught in a rut in your life and you want to, you're looking for a way to take your life to the next level, and to connect with people locally, I think is important. I think it makes it more real. And
it's huge.
Yeah.
I want our audience to grow from local to maybe expand it farther and farther out.
Right.
You never know. We might have a reach in Alaska one day. But
of course. The power of the internet, right? And social media.
Beautiful.
But I mean, like really just, starting locally and then expanding. And I mean, just like
huge.
any other business, right?
Yeah, I've reached out to a couple local people that I want to hear from, and all of them are like, oh man, that sounds awesome.
Right.
I like the direction you're taking. And
right. It's amazing that even though like we're not at a level right now where I would consider us experts.
No.
But I think that's important too. I think more people can connect with something like that. I know, anytime I've been to like a real estate seminar or something like that, you're learning from somebody that's been doing this for X number of years, and they have X number, 50, 100 investment properties, and millions of dollars and all that kind of stuff. And it's super impressive, and there's tons of information out there, and it's fantastic. And we're going to be doing kind of the same thing, except we're starting from the ground floor.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to go back to episode 1 and see, oh, you know what? I was at that point in my life too.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to use this as an accountability exercise or platform for us to
Well,
not just
you know what, accountability to each other too.
right.
Like just little things, getting
Right.
healthier.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I sound different now. I got a little closer to the mic. We're learning as we go, right?
Yeah,
This is
we
the
are.
whole thing. It's learning as we go. But I think that's an important message. I was interviewed on a podcast, the Mark Loeffler Experience. If you're watching this, you might be familiar with Mark Loeffler. He's a local realtor and real estate investor and entrepreneur. And one of the things I said on his show was he was asking, what's one piece of advice that you had for other investors or aspiring investors out there? And it was just to do it. And I think that's, you get caught up. I mean, I spent years reading books and going to seminars and all this kind of stuff, but I was missing one key element, actually doing it.
Oh yeah. It was like jumping off a cliff in water blind.
Sure.
Starting this with you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
That was fun and super stressful.
Sure.
Like, I mean, McDonald's stressed me out.
Yeah.
Big time.
Right. McDonald's is one.
I tried not to show it.
Sure.
But I was stressed.
Well, you're dealing with tens of thousands of dollars. You're dealing with tight deadlines, and you're dealing with a partner too, right? Like we're both accountable to each other in that respect too. You don't want to make a mistake because, if anything, I don't want to screw anything up that it's going to affect you and your family, right? So McDonald's was the first. So it's a street in Hamilton. It was the first project that we worked on together as investors, and that was October 2019. That was our first one together. So I've done a few deals myself, with my wife, Sarah, and we've done quite well. And it really started on a project on a street in Stony Creek, where we're broadcasting from now.
Yeah.
Called Battlefield. Excuse me. And I
wonder why we're called Battlefield Real Estate
exactly.
Investments.
So, I mean, that's really where it all stemmed from. I have a tendency now, like this, I grew into the type of person that just takes action, right? Now, it's calculated action, but I mean, I don't get caught up in that analysis paralysis that everybody talks about, that I just, I did some quick numbers, made sense, boom, let's go. And about a week before closing, I had a contractor lined up that backed out for a bigger project. And I said, you know what? Well, let's do it. I'm already committed.
Yeah.
So I started just tackling it myself. And I was doing okay, but I mean, it's, I have I'm working full time. I have a full-time job. I have 2 kids at home, and there's only so much that you can do.
Oh yeah. There's time is like, to me, it's the most expensive commodity in the world.
Yes.
Because you're always running out of time. You're never getting time.
The clock's always ticking.
It's always ticking backwards.
Right. So how can you maximize your time? That was an important lesson on the Battlefield project, was that technically, yes, I probably could have done the whole thing. It would have taken me a year and a half maybe,
Yeah.
And, I could have had the feather in my cap that said, okay, I did it myself. But how much did it actually cost me on missed opportunities because I wasn't able to complete the project on time?
Exactly.
Right? So, I mean, long story short, I ended up finding a contractor to take on a big portion of the project. Credit where credit's due. Steve Coalition from Dynasty Contracting did a fantastic job. And then my good friend Steve Kopac here helped me out. I said, hey, man, you want to come by and check it out? And Steve's the kind of guy that he doesn't just like stick his hands in his pockets and go, hey, this is neat, cool, you want to go have a drink? It's like, okay, let's get to work.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that first night, we didn't even have a beer yet.
No.
And I'm pretty sure we moved a wall 16 inches.
Yeah.
Because it had to be moved.
Right. And then it wasn't just like, okay, well, good luck and, let me know how it goes. It's like, he starts making a game plan. Okay, we need to do this, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, he's just taking over. I'm like, that's what Steve does, is because, you kind of have to recognize, too, when somebody knows what they're doing, you kind of have to step back and watch it happen. And next thing you know, we're working together like 3 or 4 nights a week.
Yeah, late
at night. And helped me get the project done. And we were sitting in the basement of this home that turned out amazing, by the way. And it's on our website, battlefieldrei.com, if you want to see any of our projects. And from there we decided, we need to go into business together because we have a good working relationship. And that's important too. You don't just, it's one thing to have a partner, but having a partner with complementing skills and one that you actually get along with.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Right?
Like, working with you so far has been pretty easy because we don't really argue about anything.
No. We have opinions about things, and we might not agree on everything, but that's in any relationship.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, like,
But I think we actually do agree on most everything. But
like today we were talking about the vanities,
right?
And
so we have a project, a renovation project that we're going to be selling soon on Shamrock, on the Hamilton Mountain.
Yeah,
right. And what we were discussing was vanity sizes, right? So, okay, so you can go out there and. We've got this amount of space to fit a vanity in there. Great. Okay, you go online, boom, 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 whatever, you find one for the best price. But it might not be available. I mean, we're right in the middle of COVID right now.
Yeah.
There's a shortage on everything.
That was my fault too. Like, Sarah sent me a link on an awesome vanity, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, sweet, Home Depot, I like it. Well, I didn't keep reading. It's a special order.
Right.
I need the vanity Sunday.
Right.
So I've got 24 hours to find a vanity to fit before the plumber shows up.
Right.
So I called Dan today and I said, listen, let's get Sarah to decide what the vanity wants, like what she wants it to look like from the front.
Right.
And I can get the kitchen people to make the vanities.
Exactly.
It's going to cost a little more.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's ordered, it's done, it's going to fit, and I don't have to worry about it.
Right. And this is something that we can, we can create a design that we like going forward.
And just keep reusing it.
And then just keep reusing it, but then they can make it custom to fit that space, and we don't have this issue going forward.
Well, we can even, it doesn't matter what size we want. Like, we can make it 37.5 inches if there's 37.5 inches of space.
Right.
So to make the space actually look even better than being stuck with 24, 30, 36, 42.
Right. Exactly.
Like, that's a big jump, 36 to 42 inches.
Yeah.
Like, you can put a 36-inch vanity in there. If the toilet's not centered in the space that's left over, it looks like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, my wife takes on a lot of the design role, and on top of being a nurse and watching 2 kids and all that kind of stuff. So when developing a business, it's about creating systems, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing that as we go, and it's a learning process, and when we understand that. And again, the purpose of getting into business is to be able to create a life by design and to have some fun while you're doing it, right? So there's always going to be challenges, and you decide how these challenges are going to affect you personally, right? And I love it. Like, every single day, this is something that I absolutely love to do.
Well, that's the whole reason I want those custom vanities done,
right?
Because it's stressful trying to find one. Well, now it is, because it's a time crunch,
right?
Whereas if I ordered it 6 weeks ago,
no problem.
It comes when it comes, and they install it when it gets there.
So what are we doing? Since we're on the topic, are we? This is hot vanity talk for the.
I'm gonna find one.
Viewers at home. Yeah.
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 I'm going to Lowe's. Me and Claire are gonna go to Lowe's, and Home Depot's up there in Arona.
Yeah.
We're going to find something that fits.
Yeah.
Something that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the one that was supposed to go in there? No, but
it's going to work. So anyway.
How was your pee? Was it good?
It was. I really had to go.
It happens.
Michelob Ultras really go through you.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. My diet beer.
I call it the diabetic beer.
The diet.
Yeah. That's what me and Steve and all those guys that go hunting.
Yeah.
So they call Sleeman Clear and Michelob Ultra.
I can't do the Sleeman Clear. It doesn't taste like anything.
The Sleeman Clear in a bottle's good.
Yeah.
Not the can. The cans are shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like, I mean, so far the show has been hot vanity talk, and
Yeah, hot vanity talk. Yeah.
right. So
Where am I going to find that fucking vanity?
right, exactly. And I mean, we'll be bringing on guests. Episode 2, we'll be bringing on a guest. I'm looking forward to having him on. Kyle, are we bringing on Kyle?
I'm going to try and get him.
Yeah, okay.
No, I reached out to him today, but he never messaged me back. He might
Maybe
be with
this
the
is
kids.
a message out to the masses right now. That if you know of somebody with, that's, like local, that's a successful entrepreneur that might have an interesting story, have them reach out to us. I'd love to hear from them.
Or if you're listening, reach out to us.
If you know, yeah, absolutely. Where should they get us?
Just the webpage, Instagram,
Go through Instagram, Battlefield REI Inc.
or at Renovating Hamilton.
Right.
One of us will answer.
We should probably have an email address too. See, this is how prepared we are. We just jump in. We go.
Oh,
for
you
it.
do? Oh, like podcast at battlefieldrealestateinvestments.com or some shit.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Podcast at battlefieldrei.com.
There you go.
So if you know anyone, that's where to reach us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a perfect example. There's 1,000,001 things in any business that you're going to have. You can't be prepared for everything,
Oh, no.
right? Just go for it. Take your steps.
What things were we unprepared for? Trying to think.
I mean, we had.
The dip in the floor. How
you're
unprepared
talking
for that
specifically
shit.
about
Yeah.
properties. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the business itself. I mean, we
Oh.
started the business before actually incorporating.
Yeah,
right?
we did.
So
Yeah.
simple things from like, how do we write up an offer with with a corporation? Are we still using our names on it? Do we assign the deal over? Like,
Yeah, I know.
These are all things that we're like brand new with. So we actually have formally incorporated in April.
Yeah.
And we had already done our first deal, then purchased our next one. So this was interesting too. I mean, so we had just completed McDonald,
Yeah.
and then there was all this talk about this crazy virus
Oh, yeah, the COVID.
that everyone was sort of just comparing to SARS. So I mean, we weren't really taking it that seriously.
SARS was like COVID something or other, some other number.
Yeah.
It
was
all
like
stems from this. It's all a coronavirus.
It was exactly, novel coronavirus. But we really didn't understand the severity of it, and then all of a sudden, and this is the thing, you make decisions as you go, right?
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, these reports are coming out about like real estate dropping up to 30% in value, and I did the quick math on that. I'm like, well, we're losing money.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Let's sign the first offer we get.
Well,
Live
ended
and
up
learn.
dropping the price, and then just boom, got out of there as a safety, and then we kind of let the dust settle a little bit, and we started seeing what was happening out there, and the real estate market was still really strong.
It was
Like
going
crazy.
It continually went up.
Right. So we were like, okay, well, if we were patient, we probably would have made more money. But again,
We were worried.
uncertain. When there's uncertainty like that, you have to make decisions.
Oh, yeah. On the fly.
with the information that you have.
Yeah.
So we went on to purchase our next one. There was about 20 offers on that one on East 44.
Yeah.
So this is a bungalow in the East Mountain that we decided to do duplex conversion, and we got it for $51,000 over asking on that one.
Yeah.
Right. And then we bought another one. We bought Shamrock.
How much over?
Oh wait,
did you
no,
buy
we were
Shamrock?
75,000 over on East 30.
Yeah, it was listed
44.
for $399.
Right, and then we were 51 over on Shamrock.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, both of these projects, like East 44 is all but completed. We've rented out the main floor and
we rented
just signed a
out
lease for the basement. They
Yeah.
don't move until next month. So super exciting. We have a couple of new tenants. So we're looking. So we're rambling here, but what are we doing here, right? So we have this real estate business. What are we doing, right? So we're looking to grow our portfolio of buy, fix, rent, and refinance properties, right? So
Yeah.
rentals. And we can get into the BRRRR strategy, as it's known, and also flips. But we don't like to call them flips because flips kind of has that.
Oh, I hate the word flips.
Right.
Because to me, when someone's talking about a house that was flipped, it looks like corners were cut. And
Cheap.
me and we've walked through some flips.
Oh, yeah.
You took me to one years ago. I think Woodward, Parkdale, Burlington Street area.
Okay.
It was so shit.
Yeah.
Like they put the floor in, didn't take the trim out. And like you could
Put
see
a,
all the
put a little bit of quarter around. At the
Oh,
bottom.
they didn't even put quarter around. They didn't even caulk the holes. I was like, what
Right.
the fuck's going on here?
Right.
So that's why I don't like using the word flip.
Right.
We
What do
renovate.
We renovate.
We do it. We do it right.
Right.
We pull permits when we need to pull a permit.
Right.
And
It might cost us more in the end, but I feel like, if we're going to attach our name to something, we need to feel good about it too.
Oh yeah, like I don't want to be selling somebody a piece of shit.
Right.
Where I can't sleep at night because I'm like, oh, I left that junction box on the fucking ceiling.
Right.
And the house might burn down.
Right. Absolutely.
Like
Or you
10
don't
years-
want it looking good for a year and then all of a sudden shit starts falling apart.
Yeah, you don't want that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's good for our prospective investors to know. Like, we are looking for partnership deals, joint venture partners, JVPs is called, and private financing if you're looking to, to invest your money in real estate and, invest in one of our renovation projects. We're looking for private money. And if you're looking to, if you've got money in the bank or if you're looking to capitalize on your own equity in your property, if you've owned a property in Ontario for the past 5 years, you have equity. You have enough
big
money
time.
to invest. But say you don't have the expertise and you want to team up with somebody, give us a call. We're happy to have a chat with you about a partnership.
Well, it's like my old apprentice, Matt. He wants to
Right.
invest privately with us.
Right.
And he's using his own home equity.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him about getting involved with the JVP and the whole rental business and whatever. And he's like, nah, I kind of just want to
Right.
lend money, get interest back. And then whatever he makes on it, he just puts it down on the house because he's got an open mortgage.
Yeah.
So his goal is to lend money, to make money, to pay his mortgage down.
Right. Yep. And again, it depends on what kind of investor you are. That works out perfectly for him. But there might be people out there that want to own that long-term
for sure.
property where they can just set it and forget it. And, 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, they could retire on it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that don't have retirement programs. So this is a perfect thing for people like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
'Cause what, so I bought this place in 2009 for $330.
So we're recording this in the basement of Steve's house.
Steve's first renovation.
Steve's first renovation that all of us. Greg was involved.
was involved,
Myself.
Greg helped me take all the bricks down in the backyard.
We're actually sitting in a part that didn't even exist.
Yeah.
2 full extensions on this place.
Yeah, I didn't want to go up.
Yeah.
I want to die here. That's why it's a bungalow.
Not too soon.
Oh, Gregory. Where'd you find that one?
Greg in there with the timely
Fucking
drops. I love
That
it.
was good.
But yeah, like so.
No, we were talking about equity. Like you've got
Right.
equity in your house, right?
Yeah, so we're both capitalizing on our equity,
Yeah.
which the money is almost free right now. The interest rates are so low.
Oh, it's crazy.
And if you can go out there and net, 10% on your money in 4 months, why wouldn't you take advantage of that?
I like that.
Don't give a shit anymore.
How long you been waiting to use that one?
He's been sitting on it
For a while. He's been sitting on it.
Greg will have a microphone soon enough. He'll be able to chime in on these things.
I can't wait. I'm gonna order it tonight, I think.
Right. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, we're going to get into the details of all of our investments. We're going to share with you our goals. I mean, right now, our goal for 2020 was 4 properties, and we're 2 in, and it's getting, it got delayed
Yeah,
because of
COVID delayed it.
COVID delayed it,
Yeah.
but then we also kind of got screwed over in a couple deals too.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't mean that we're not out there. I mean, we've got
we're
2 offers going
definitely
in this
going to
weekend.
talk about that.
Oh yeah, for
Of
sure.
how some people can't do simple math.
Right. Yeah, I know it's frustrating.
I
isn't
mean,
it?
I hope they never listen to it.
but here's the thing too. So as we learn and as we grow and as we improve, not just our business but ourselves, it's also about being accountable. And even though we felt like we got screwed on these deals, I can take responsibility on both of them, and say that maybe, more effective communication from my end might have prevented that, right?
Yeah, maybe, but at the same time, like people got to be accountable for their own shit too.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm taking responsibility.
Actually, the one lady, she was very apologetic.
Well, and that's what I appreciated from her actually too. But we can get into details of that another time. But nonetheless, there's a really good book. The author's Jocko Willink. It's called Extreme Ownership, and it's about taking ownership of everything that's happening in your life, whether it's your fault or not.
Yeah,
and really, that's what it comes down to: is that you are the product of the decisions that you make and the people that you're the product of your environment and how you allow that environment affect you and your decisions that you make every day. If that makes any sense. Sorry, I keep moving away from the mic here. Have you listened? So I'm all about audiobooks.
No, I downloaded the PDF copy.
Did you?
Of it. Yeah.
So I like to read too, but there's a few books that I actually enjoy the audio version better. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Jocko Willink. You got to look him up. Just his voice. It's one of those you have to listen to. You need Jocko, and Leif Barrett is on it as well. And it sounds phenomenal. They tell some amazing stories in there. But again, just sort of the synopsis of it is by taking responsibility and taking ownership of everything in your life, it gives you control.
Oh, big time.
Right? I think for a lot of people, life is just happening to them.
Yeah, and when you own something, people are shocked that you owned it.
Yeah.
And and the conversation ends really quick.
It ends, but or it changes direction.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get caught up in this like power struggle. You see it all the time on the road. Somebody cuts somebody off, and what happens? You flip the guy the finger, and then the other guy's pissed.
Yeah.
You're the one that caused the problem.
Yeah.
But why are they pissed? Well, they just took ownership of the situation. You know what I mean?
But it's too bad there wasn't like a sorry hand signal like this.
Maybe we need to create one.
Yeah, we got to create.
Is
one.
that we're Canadian
instead of like a finger?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Leave it to a Canadian to come up with an "I'm sorry" signal.
Yeah, Canadians, sorry for everything.
There's a thank you signal if you know when like somebody like lets you into a lane or something like that, and you give the thank you wave.
Yeah.
What do you do when you have tinted windows? You can't see anything. So sometimes you roll the window down, throw the hand out.
Yeah.
What if it's raining? What do?
Nothing.
Flash the four ways. That's what I do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Give them a
flash
little break
3 times.
Check.
Yeah. I do. I do because I think that's what truck drivers do actually.
Yeah. Well, it's so. You're signaling them on anything, right?
Right.
So you flash the four ways a little bit. They're like, oh, yeah, that's probably because I let them in.
Oh, yeah.
They know.
No, they get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, too many people are like just so wound up these days, caught up in the routine. If there was anything positive that came out of this like whole COVID situation, it is that it completely disrupted everyone's pattern.
Oh, yeah.
We all have a pattern.
Not really for me. We didn't really shut down. I still went to work.
Okay, but I would say for what?
And 80% of the people.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Right?
Look how many people that were working in offices and are now working from home.
Right here.
Yeah.
6 months. Right? Even if you're working, your kids have been home since March.
Oh, yeah.
Up until this week when everybody returned to school.
Yeah.
But even now, they're returning with masks on their faces and, it's just physical distancing, and
it's weird.
It is weird, but again, it's disrupted the pattern. And there's a lot of people that aren't handling this very well.
No,
and there's definitely been challenges. Certainly for myself, having a 1 and 4-year-old at home while I'm trying to work at the same time, I'm losing my mind.
Oh yeah, I think the best people, the funniest people maybe that this is affecting is the ones that don't want to wear masks. And they're like, I'm losing my I'm losing my freedom and my rights.
Your
or whatever.
rights, yeah.
I'm like, you know what?
lean on their rights.
One guy was saying that at work. I'm like, well, you know what? I think I have the right to go through a fucking red light.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through. I want to go through the red light.
Yeah.
The mask thing's a law. Stopping at a red light's a law.
Yeah.
And stopping at that red light is saving someone else's life.
Sure.
And just like wearing a mask could potentially save someone's life.
Yep.
So to me, the mask and the red light is the same shit. And if you don't want to wear a mask, you know what? I want you to run a fucking red light.
I think a lot of people are forgetting that's the point. Is it's not so much for you, it's for other people.
Oh, it is.
There's a great, actually, I saw an awesome meme or whatever on Facebook. They used the example of somebody taking a piss and comparing it to a mask. So it's like you're not wearing a mask, but the other person is, and the guy's taking a piss on his leg.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're wearing a mask and they're not, you're just pissing your pants.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
that was a funny analogy. Like, you're not spreading whatever the hell you've got. If you've got the virus, you're not going to be spreading it at least as easily.
Yeah.
Right. But so, one of the other things that, we want to do here is not just talk about real estate and our business. And obviously we'll be getting into details. We plan to do many, many shows about that. But we're going to bring on inspiring guests, but we also want to hold ourselves accountable to becoming better, people.
Yeah.
And improving ourselves. And I think, having accountability goals and things like that is going to be important. So
one of the biggest things that I'm trying to change about myself is the words I use and how I use them.
yes.
Like phrases that were okay before. Well, you know what? They weren't okay before. They were never okay.
You just didn't know that.
It's not that I read an article online. It was like 22 common phrases that people use all the time that have they're actually considered racial slurs.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And it was a girl that we're going to have on the show, Abby Simpson, that shared this article with me. And it really blew my mind. Some of the phrases that I, jokingly say, like, love you a long time.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's actually, when you read where that came from,
Hmm.
it's horrible. And I'm like, holy shit, I've been a horrible person.
Right.
Well, not really. I wasn't a horrible person. I was just uneducated.
Right.
And I'm trying to educate myself on how to be better and how to use words better.
Right. And, the power of words. So, one of the things I want to get into, too, is mindset. And the words that you use that you tell yourself actually was kind of interesting. When we were just setting all of this equipment up, your daughter, Lydia, was in here.
Yeah.
And she did a fantastic job. But what was she saying? She's like, oh, my God, I'm so nervous. I feel anxious. But she was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And so her and I had a discussion about the words that we use, the things that we tell ourselves, right? And not allowing yourself to, not allowing you to beat yourself up. And if you wouldn't want somebody else saying those things to you, why are you saying it?
Yeah.
Right? And this is I'm guilty of this a million times in my life.
That's a talk I have with her regularly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't even think I've ever mentioned to you, about some of the things I talked to her about, because I don't like that she's so hard on herself. But you jumped in there right away. You're like, you shouldn't do that, blah, blah. And she was listening. You could see it in her eyes.
Right. Because it's not coming from her dad.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's coming from someone else.
Right. Absolutely. We touched on two things. One, the words that we or the phrases or the things that we tell ourselves, and gratitude. I think gratitude, it sounds simple, but when I actually really started practicing gratitude on a daily basis, that changed my life right there. And really just being appreciative for everything and everyone in your life for every reason. And I think you know what's funny? So I live in Ancaster, and everyone says, "Ooh, you live in Ancaster." No, I live in a townhouse in Ancaster, surrounded by many big houses and nice cars and things like this. And these are the things that I used to think that I really wanted. I saw value in owning these crazy cars and all this kind of stuff. Now it does nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I see Lamborghinis drive by all the time, like, cool. And then, but I'm hanging out with my kids out front with a million other kids and just having a blast. Like, that's what I value more than that now. Like, it's crazy how that's changed. And that's really just come from being appreciative for the things that you have and practicing it, making it routine where you're thinking about it daily. And then you're not stressed because you're always thinking like, oh, you're always feeling like you're 2 steps behind or something like that, right? Like, if that makes any sense, like,
Yeah.
Like you're not accomplished because okay, you went and bought the house. Well, now I want a bigger house. Oh, I got the car. Oh, now I need the sports car. And now I need a boat or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to, not that those things are bad. If you want those things, are fantastic, and I still want like the cottage and the boat and all that kind of stuff. But I don't want it for the same reasons anymore. Like I rented a cottage this past summer, and like it was a total like experience right out of like National Lampoons. I literally played the theme song on the way up. Because I knew I was going to a cottage that hasn't changed since 1972.
Yeah.
And it literally, as soon as I walked in the back door, you open the door, boom, it swings open and smashes into the fridge.
Yeah.
And I walk in, it smells the exact same. I walk in, the fridge moves because there's like some broken floorboards. The look on my wife's face was like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I gave her a heads up too.
Yeah, but that's
Greg's been there. He knows what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but to me, that's what a cottage is.
Right, exactly. But the point is I didn't need, like, we've stayed in a really nice cottage too. Thank you, Chris Knighton, for that. If anyone's looking for a really nice Muskoka cottage, 2,200 square feet, it's amazing. But anyway, and not that I don't appreciate that. It was fucking awesome. But for me, it was the kids. Like, they had no idea. All they knew is that they were having an amazing time.
Oh yeah,
right?
They were in the water every day. They were outside every day trying to catch butterflies and grasshoppers and black flies and whatever else lives up there.
So my daughter was doing nothing but catching fish, and I was sitting there the whole time. She threw a rod in the water, and I had to try and fish it out from the boat.
Oh, nice.
That's funny. But anyway,
I want to circle back to the gratitude thing. So I had an apprentice working with me. His name is Kevin Miller. Good kid.
So what do you do? So you're
I'm a maintenance electrician at Taylor Steel.
Right.
Yeah. So he was probably, I don't know, my 7th electrician. Well, they're co-op kids, but we sign them up for an apprenticeship so they don't lose that 1 year of time that counts towards however many hours you need to become a licensed person. Right?
Oh, nice.
So our daily routine was at some point a coffee break, go to McDonald's, get a coffee.
Yep.
And it took him, I don't know, a month and a half to ask me. He's like, man, you're so like nice to the people in the drive-thru, and you say thank you and all this other stuff. And I'm like, Kev, I go, that's the worst fucking job in the world because you deal with assholes all day.
Yep.
You deal with people that need their coffee before they got to go to work, and they bitch and complain. And if me saying good morning and thank you and whatever puts a smile on someone's face, that just made their day a little bit better.
Right.
And he was like, holy fuck, I never thought of it that way. So he reaches out to me. He was looking for like an apprenticeship, and he signed me up to be a reference on his resume.
Right.
So he's talking to me about being a reference. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And he's like, yo, so I've been doing that thing, like saying thank you more often and holding doors and whatever. It's like, I feel better.
Right.
And it's just something simple.
Of course. It's one of those things, like, one of these things that I have going on in my head is that I feel like we almost have an obligation to act happy. even if shit's going down, that, you know, like, we owe it to the people around us to at least act happy.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? You know, like, you could be having a bad day and somebody's walking by looking like they're walking on sunshine. You know, it kind of lifts you up a little bit too, right? And even if you've got shit going on in your head, even if you're acting happy, eventually you're just going to start feeling happy.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, we could ramble on about this all day long, but I think it's just about, you know, we're going to be talking about mindset. We're going to be talking about our real estate business and just growth and challenges that we're facing and still pushing forward. Like I said, we're not, you know, experts, but we are action takers, and we, I think that's the important thing, is just to go for it. And as we move towards our goal of becoming, you know, growing our business, but also growing better, you know, fathers and husbands and people in general, and then bringing on some amazing guests that'll have some inspiring stories. And, you know, I think, I think this will be good times.
Good times.
Good times.
We used to be the Good Times.
We used to be the good, yeah.
And we changed that.
Yeah.
I like Renovating Life better.
I do too.
Because it hits both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I don't know. I think that's a good note to go out on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, thank you. If you've been listening this whole time, you know, I just want to say thank you. Really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. And, you know, I think this is you know, a good experience. This is going to show, like, you know, as we grow, things are going to get better. The production's going to get better. The interviews are going to get better. You know, we've never done this before.
No.
We're just going for it.
So let's do it.
Right.
We're not going to be George Strombolopoulos or whatever his name is right off the
Strombolopoulos.
Yeah.
So again, thanks for tuning in.
Interviewer I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah. Anyway, so I just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and you know, going forward, we're going to have some great guests. And if you have any suggestions for guests, we'd love to hear from you at podcast@battlefieldrei.com. Email us there. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at BattlefieldREI Inc. or at Renovating Hamilton.
Yeah.
And until next time, my name is Dan Carrol, for producer Greg and my good friend Steve Kopac, saying, seek discomfort and work like hell.
Love it.
For more information on investing in real estate, visit battlefieldrei.com and follow us on Instagram at BattlefieldREI Inc. and at Renovating Hamilton. Music for the show provided by josephmcdade.com and voiceover by Mike Dawson.